Yo, people, what's happening? Welcome to Saeed TV and welcome to the Man United Unfiltered podcast. We are live. We're in the building. Big up to everybody who's locked in. 100 people already in the building right now. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. We have the show Sunday night feel. Big up to Double A first for coming on. Appreciate it as always.
That's good, boy. I hope you boys are well. Doing all right, enjoying the festival of football, and mate, it's yeah, I'm good, man. I'm all well. It's always great to be rushing back from work. Yeah, can't miss the Unfiltered podcast. You know what I'm saying? It's a Sunday staple, man. Part of the diet.
That's it. Absolutely, man. Flawless. What are you telling me, man? What are you telling me?
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. Apologies on the slight lateness and that. I was just sorting out the laptop. The laptop wanted to start playing up, but we're here in the building. Echoing what Double A says. Yeah, it is a staple. Thanks for having me as always as well, Saeed. And looking forward to the show, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the World Cup's just some of the games have been good, but the bad games have been really bad. I don't know if it's just me. But the bad games have been really. I don't want to see today was. I don't want to see tactical battles in it from a selfish point of view. I'm just trying to see entertaining football. I ain't trying to see no tactical battles, but
especially this early on.
I understand it though, because managers are trying to get through, and I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying from a personal, selfish perspective. I'm just trying to see ISO ball, man. Let me see some drop of the shoulders, step overs. You know what I'm saying? Red cards.
Four frees, free frees. We want all that. We want goal,
yeah.
We want
all of that stuff.
Everyone play like Canada. We might have some games in it. You know what I mean?
Yo, facts, man. Just throw caution to the wind, man. You know what I'm saying?
That first 10 minutes, they were world beaters. After that, they got a lesson in it. So
yeah, absolutely. Remind me of Leeds, man. Like Bielsa. Like just attacking wise, just unbelievable. But then defensively, just all over the place.
Over the gaff. Yeah.
Nah, man. Big up to everybody who's locked in. We are going to discuss some United news which broke today, and that is regarding Christian Pulisic. Big debate on this one. But today the news got broke out by the Telegraph. Mark Ogden. He says Man United are open to a loan move for Christian Pulisic. Sources have told ESPN, with the United States forward expected to be allowed to leave in January in a January transfer window. It goes on to say sources have told ESPN that United are not planning to make substantial moves in January, although no club decision to cancel Cristiano Ronaldo's contract has left Erik ten Hag needed a proven forward. Well, I'm not sure about proven forward, but listen, it is what it is. And then obviously it's got here, sources told ESPN that Pulisic's injury problems at Chelsea have been noted by United, but he remains a player of interest in January because of the likely lack of proven options on loan. Double A, man, chat to us. Christian Pulisic, does he tickle your fancy? Is he someone that you've seen him at the World Cup so far? Now he's doing all right. What do you reckon, man?
I mean, he hit the bar. He played against for me, not a great England team. The best way to put it, and what is a red flag for me straight away, I work with a Chelsea fan, and we actually had a conversation about him this week, and he don't like him. So, if they're happy for their player to leave, I don't want to play like that. I want them not to want their players to leave to come to Manchester United. That's we don't want no scraps. We're not after the seconds and all that. I don't want them type of players, because he may have something to prove, but I don't want him to be trying to prove it at Manchester United. Go to an Everton, go to a Brentford, Brighton, someone like that. But no, United need to be looking higher, need to be aiming higher. Cody Gakpo, João Felix is on loan. Go and get João Felix. Why are we looking at Christian Pulisic? Someone who hasn't, for me, done it in the Premier League. So, I hope it's rumours and I hope it dies very quickly, because Christian Pulisic, for me, is not a player I want seeing at Old Trafford in their home dressing room anyway. No chance.
Nathan DeBola says better than Elanga, but is that the measurement we want to use? You know what I mean? It's not the greatest measurement, because Elanga is still raw, he's still young, he's still developing. Flawless. A lot of people flirted with the idea of Pulisic. I think it was in the summer we were linked with him. Is it a case of that ESPN are trying to make stories up because Pulisic is having a good World Cup, and it kind of makes sense United need a forward, and he then is available on loan? What are you thinking, Pulisic? Do you like him as a player, first of all?
You said, I actually don't think he's that bad of a player. The major issue with Pulisic is he's injury prone. It seems he can't stay fit. And Double A mentioned it as well. I work with a lot of Chelsea fans doing content creators. None of them rate him. So if none of the fans rate him and don't want him to leave, why do we want him here? Like for instance, say we were in for Reece James, their fan base would be up in outrage. That lets you know that Reece James is a quality player because they would be up in outrage saying you're not taking our player, blah blah blah. There's no way Chelsea should let him leave. So I don't understand. It seems you mentioned it about ESPN, and yeah, it makes sense. Good game against England. United need an attacker. Pulisic is out of favour at Chelsea. United, like that makes sense in terms of from a reporter perspective. But if we were to go in for him, I just think it's lazy. That could be very, very lazy recruitment. You're telling me we can't go and if especially on a loan, we can't go identify somebody better than Pulisic, who, like I said, who has either been injured a lot or has been out of favour. Like one of the two. Why do we want him at Manchester United? Like go get someone young, hungry, and someone with a loan with an option to buy. Or like Double A said, João Felix. Go get someone, go make a statement signing and have João Felix with a loan with a statement to buy. Like that's where I'm at with it. So no, I would be disappointed with Pulisic. We got players like that already. We got Martial. We got players like that who are good but injury prone. Why go and get another one? To me, that makes no sense.
I think ultimately it's just one of those situations where we're making an excuse not to go and get Gakpo. Like that's what we're doing. And like I said, I don't know what's the situation with the owners. This is where maybe the owners now saying that they want to leave and they don't have the investment. What do? Do they say, you know what, we're not going to invest in this squad anymore. We're looking for potential owners. We're not doing anything right now. Or do we take a stopgap just again because we have lost Ronaldo? Double A. I know it's not what we want, but if we're not going to get Gakpo, do we just say we're not going to get anything at all? Or would that kind of, would you be gutted, if it did happen, the fact that obviously the club didn't go and get Gakpo? Because it is a tricky one. What do we do, like, in terms of its ownership? Because, they want to sell. They do want to sell.
If they want to sell, there's no harm in them spending money again. Because it's only going to raise the price. They're going to get the money back regardless, yeah? They're going to make billions after buying what? Buy for 300 to 500 million? Listen, they're going to make money, so them spending a little 200 million again in January is not going to harm them in the grand scheme of things.
What if they don't need to spend though? If they're thinking we're looking to sell the club, why should we go and spend 50 odd million on Gakpo? That's just because the Glazers will think like that. They will think like they will do that.
The thing with the Glazers is, though, Saeed, yeah, that money's never coming out of their pockets anyway. They've never spent a penny of their own money. So if they spend 200 million, it doesn't mean nothing to them because it's not them at the end of the day that it's not coming out of their bank account. But the thing is with Man United is we never actually replaced Cavani. We've always been a striker down.
Yeah.
Yes, Martial came back off loan, but now we're 2 down because we've lost Ronaldo. So for these rumors to come out to say we ain't buying anyone in January at all is very, very worrying because we need 2 strikers anyway. Because we've said Martial is very, very injury prone. You can't trust him to come in and play 5-6 games in a row. Rashford is inconsistent, as we've spoke about previously. And then you're relying on Alanga, Garnacho, Sancho in bad form, and then Anthony that's going to come back from a World Cup. So that is really worrying for me. I don't see a reason why they can't go and spend and go and get 1 or 2, even if, like it's a loan to buy and then go and get Gakpo for 30, 40 million. I'd be happy with that to see us through the end of the season. But we need reinforcements in that area because we are struggling to score goals. So I want them to spend, and I think they should spend if they are going to sell. But it's the Glazers, so you can never actually really say what they'll do.
Flores, do you think they'd want to spend in January, knowing that they're going? A lot of people might be naive to think like that, or maybe kind of think, they should spend, but they've never had the best interest for the football club. This is what I kind of look at it from.
Well, I hear you. They don't have the best interest of the football club at heart, but then it could align with them bringing in players to raise the value of the club. So if we bring, like Double A said, if we bring in a couple players, even though it's on kind of like the Ronaldo interview, like we didn't really like where it came from, but he still said some truth. Like him talking about the Glazers is truth. Him talking about the facilities is truth, even if we don't know where it came from. So the Glazers might sign a player or sign a couple players, not because they have the best interest of the club at heart, but it enables United to be sold at a higher price for them. And they don't necessarily have to spend money in regards to if it's a loan deal, it's just wages. And let's say say it is João Felix we're going for. Let's say it's hypothetically him and we split it 50-50 or it's 60-40 Atletico Madrid. How much money is being spent considering how much has now been saved with Cristiano Ronaldo in terms of wages? It's whoever we bring in on loan, even if it's two players, isn't going to amount to the amount that Ronaldo was on when he was here. So a loan deal makes sense. I like the idea of a loan deal because that definitely enables us to maybe bring in two loan players or sign someone and bring in a loanee player. But even when Ronaldo was here, I was saying for the longest, we need minimum two strikers. Now he's gone. We definitely need to. Because I don't like seeing Rashford up front. Can he do a job? Yes. But we all know he's not a striker. His best position is out wide. So why are we then taking him away from playing out wide to then play through the middle? And then we're left with just Garnacho on the left or Sancho out of form. And then on the other side, it's just Anthony. And then we've got Alanga. Like, we're short in the area. We've been saying this from the start of the show. And when the show started, we started doing the show, we were saying we're short in attacking areas in the summer.
Bro, we're short,
So it's like, can we go and sign? Yeah, I can see us signing somebody in January. Because let's not forget the summer just went. Everyone was talking about we won't spend 250 million. We ain't gonna bring in 5 or 6 players. There'll be 3 or 4 max. I was saying that. And look what we did. We had a great window. So why can't we have a good January transfer window, which would be a couple players?
It's you know what it is. Like I said, we've got a lot of wingers, but again, the forward line with the Gakpo one, AA, I think he can transform into a striker. A lot of people are not going to like that. Where would you prefer him playing if you had him? Are you having him on the left because you've got Sancho and Rashford on the left, or Sancho and Garnacho and vice versa, Anthony there? Do we see Gakpo as molding into that striker then, or are you thinking?
I think so. I think that's what Ten Hag sees in him. You see it with PSV. I believe he's the leading goal scorer in the Eredivisie. So, and you can see it. He's leading the line for the Netherlands, and he scored 2 in 2. So I think the transformation and his long-term position is gonna be forward as a striker. So I go and get him. Let's lead the pack. We were close in August. If you believe, obviously, the rumours, Ten Hag clearly wanted him, and they share the same agent, so the communication lines are there already. So we really should be stealing the match now because his stock's only gonna rocket during the World Cup. He's already scored, like I say, 2 in 2. Other teams are gonna need him. I want him as well because they need goals. You look at Chelsea; they need a goal. Apparently they're getting on Cuckoo and stuff, but you can't discount these big teams that need goals. Arsenal probably need another striker as well for me. So let's steal the match. Let's get this young player in who a lot of people are going to want, and bang him up front, mate. He looks like he's going to be a player. So I'd like to see him wearing the red at Man United 100%.
Yeah, Ganzo's not feeling Gakpo saying I would prefer Shaipo not playing.
That's what I wanted to say.
That's a lot of slander, man, Ganzo. I don't know why you think like that. You have to explain yourself, man. But I think a lot of people criticize Gakpo a lot because, again, he's still raw, flawless. He's powerful. He's not the most technically gifted, but he's PMP. And I think, with Ten Hag's coaching, I think Gakpo has good qualities. You know what I mean? That's just why I think of it. But his price tag is going up, man. And like I said, it's not only just him or just our club that is coming in for him. There will be other clubs coming in for him.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, there'll be other clubs coming in for him. In terms of, you mentioned it there, in terms of his profile, PMP, I'm all for it. I'm all for it because when we look at take Manchester City because they're just like an anomaly. If you look at the best wide players, front players in the Premier League, most successful, they're PMP. That's the way it's going. Like, there's very few, like I said, take out City because of the way they play in their system is different. But when you look at even Garnacho, let's use for us, like Garnacho's PMP. That doesn't, but people like when you say PMP, that means that the player's not good or it's a slander. Like Garnacho, you can be PMP and still technically sound and still have skills. And we're seeing that with Garnacho. Rashford's PMP. It's very, I think that's one of the major reasons Sancho struggles. Not that he's slow, but he's not electric. You know what I'm saying? I think he can shift, but he's not quick like those two I just mentioned there. But on the Gakpo thing, what is he? Is he a striker? Does he play up front for PSV or does he play out wide?
I think he plays on the left for PSV, but then again, he can create across the front three.
He can play.
I watched him in Holland, he's picking up positions from the actual. Do you see the goal against Ecuador? Look where he's
Yeah. Because in the first game he played in, because they play a back three, he played in the 10, and in the second game he played as one of the two strikers. But I'd rather us go and get a striker rather than messing around and going to get a player who plays on the left or plays on the right but can play up front. How about we just go get someone who plays up front but then can play either position, like not Ivan Toney, but that caliber, someone who's a striker. Like why are we going to get another Rashford? That's what this sounds like. You know what I'm saying? Someone who can play left, can play right, but can also play, well, someone who's a winger but can also play up front. Like just go get the proper thing. We need a centre forward. You know what I'm saying?
There's no centre forwards out there. This is the problem.
No, but that's on Manchester. No, that's on Manchester United to scout. There is centre forwards out there. We just don't know about them. That's on the scouting department to do their business.
In January,
our scouting department is millions upon millions is spent upon our scouting department. If they can't go and locate one striker in the world of football, we have the money to send strikers anywhere across the globe. So whether that's UK, whether that's Europe, whether that's the African continent, whether that's the Australian continent, whether that's South America, North America, have all played Football Manager in FIFA. Don't we send scouts to places on Football Manager and FIFA? I'm sure you've done it, Saeed. I know AA, you've done that, where you're like, I need such and such a player, and you put in the criteria of what you need. We've all done it. So if we can do that on FIFA and Football Manager, big Manchester United Football Club can do that. That's why I'm like, we may not know the striker. That's cool. But go and locate. You know what I'm saying? We have scouts. We have Ten Hag who knows his people. Go find me a centre forward. Otherwise, that scouting department needs to be ripped apart and start again.
Well, it will. When the new owners come in anyway, that the whole system will be ripped apart.
Yeah, it is. Because everybody's at some point, unless like you're a superstar who's come through the youth ranks at a big club, everybody's unknown at some point. Haaland was unknown at some point. Mbappe was unknown. Somebody located and found these players. So go and find these players, is my point. Like, go and do that.
It just depends on what people want. Like, big up to Realist TV says people are saying no to Mitrovic when he has a better goal scoring record than Ivan Toney. AA, how are you looking for a glamour signing? Are you looking for, someone? Are you just always maybe looking for something that's better? Because I spoke to a lot of people online here. They say, nah, Ivan Toney, he's meant to be for Brentford. Like, should we be looking down on players now in terms of, because it can't be beggars, can't be choosers, man. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't got pool options.
I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, we're still Manchester United, and we still should, regardless of we've not challenged for a title or this and this, we're still Manchester United at the end of the day. We're still the biggest club in the country. We still should be looking at players, and not, you say beggars can't be choosers, but we don't have to scrape the barrel. We can still have a.
Is Mitrovic scraping the barrel though?
Yeah, he's not an elite striker. He's a good striker in a small team. You put him in a Manchester United team and he gets swallowed up, mate. It's not happening.
You think so?
100%, mate. Like, he's a good lower league striker. You see it all the time. There's been plenty of strikers in the Premier League that have done that. Like Chris Sutton, amazing at Norwich and Blackburn. Went to Chelsea, couldn't do nothing, couldn't do shit. So that's one example. But there's been others that in the Premier League, and I think Mitrovic is one of them players for me. Ivan Toney, I think there's a little bit more there for me, and I think he could develop into a good Premier League striker for a top six side. Obviously, going through what he's going through at the minute, that's not going to be a deal that United are going to go for. So, we've got enough with the current number 11. But I like him. I agree with you in a way, Saeed, that there's not. For January, there's not many options out there. You're not going to go and spend 100 million. The one that's spoke about a lot is Jonathan David. I believe he could be 40 million. But I'm going to say these are the ones you hear. Like, he didn't look great tonight. I give you that. But it's a tricky one. The chat saying Leao again. He's not a striker, is he? He's a wide player that comes in. I agree with what we need. I don't care who it is. We just need that absolute barnstorming goal scorer. Just bags. All he wants to do is score goals. But unlike Ronaldo, he can move and he can take players on and he can actually play football. But finding that is difficult, and that's why we have that scouting network. There should be, reports coming into Ten Hag to show that his players out there. But it's I can see it being Gakpo and that'll probably be it for Jan. Vlahovic is a shout as well, to be fair, in the chat.
Vlahovic, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of them. It's tricky.
People saying Kramaric. That for me, that he looked poor for me today.
He wasn't.
What's his
And,
name?
and just the point, someone said if there was a striker, we would know him. No, we wouldn't, because we don't have access to worldwide football, people. We don't.
Yeah.
We have access to, unless like there is someone who's watching this who legit watches every league across the globe. So to the 1%, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to 99.9% of people watching this live right now or watching this back. We don't, because we don't have access to worldwide leagues. We can't. North America, like I mentioned, man, you got North America, you have South America, Africa, all across Europe. You know what I'm saying in that? Like who knew about Haaland 5-6 years ago? No one was talking about. Who knew about Mbappe before he was like burst onto the scene at the World Cup? Very few. There's strikers out there. Like I said, we just don't know them. But it's not our job to know them because we're fans. You know whose job it is to know them? The scouting department. They're supposed to be looking at these things. That's what they're paid thousands upon thousands of years to do. I mean, thousands of pounds to do. And if not, they're not doing their job correct. Because we've seen it time and time again, how other clubs without the resources of us are able to go and go and find replacements. How are Leicester able to sell Kante and go get Ndidi? But it took us up until now to get Casemiro. And we've needed a midfielder for years.
Yeah,
Kante was unknown at one point, and Didi was not unknown at one point. I'm just using Leicester as an example because their recruitment's been so good, and there's many others as well you can name in just the Premier League. So unless you have access to worldwide football, no, we wouldn't necessarily know a striker who's very good. That's incorrect.
Absolutely, good point you make there. So basically, Flawless has told us about scouting and whatnot. If we're looking at, let's say, January, and let's say we could potentially go for a player who is in their final year of the contract. Okay, Benzema might not happen. Yusuf Moukoko
might not happen. It definitely won't happen.
Hey, let's go, man. Let's go.
Yeah. Listen, new owner hype, man. You know what I'm saying? Man's feeling different now. You get me? Feeling different now. You get me, like. But Yusuf Moukoko, you guys watched him. He's 18 years old. Again, the possibility of.
I think we've been linked with him. We've been linked with him in the past, the last couple of weeks. Again, it's a young player thrown into the Premier League. Would you want him to have a little bit more experience to come into our team now and expected to be the number 9 bagging? Probably a lot of pressure for an 18-year-old for me personally, but I do like the look of him, and hopefully it's someone that's going to have a big future in the game. I'd like him at United, but I think he just needs a bit more experience for me.
Yeah. Then you've got Marcus Thuram of Borussia Mönchengladbach. Like I said, he'd be available in the summer, the free. Could we tempt him to come in January as a stopgap? Does that suit you? Or?
I know I'm getting old because I remember watching his dad play. This is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm saying Lilian Thuram was world class, man. It was top notch. But in terms of Marcus Thuram, I've not watched a lot of him, so I'm unsure as to how good he is.
I think he scored about 7 or 8 goals this season. I think
7 or 8
in about 15 games. I think he's got a decent record this season, but I don't know if he's a bit injury prone. It might be me, but I think he's all right. He's a good player, but is he that striker we need? Probably not. The next one after Firmino is the one I think could happen as well.
Depay. You know what, Memphis Depay. This is an interesting one. Yeah, are you guys, by the way, asked about players coming back, like and doing it again? Does that bother you? Because it bothers me a little bit.
It don't bother me about players coming. Are they good enough? This Memphis Depay, what is he? 20? He's 28. I'm still waiting for the Memphis Depay everybody talks about. I'm still waiting for this guy to become this guy. Like I hear his name a lot. Obviously, we had him originally. He was young. All right, cool. He went to Barcelona. I ain't watched him a lot of Barcelona. When I've watched him, every time I watch him, he's just decent. I don't get the hype around him. That's why I wouldn't, even on a free, I wouldn't want him back.
No, I think, there's rumours that Barcelona would look to cancel his contract and he could come back to United. But again, we've had our fingers burnt. Ole, Ronaldo, Pogba. I don't want anyone back. It's fine. Do you know what I mean? He only seems to turn up for the Netherlands, really. So, and he can't play for your country every week. So for me, Memphis, you've had your chance. It didn't work out. But again, a lot you're talking about the Pulisic one. it's a deal United would do. You know, you don't have to pay a transfer fee if he cancels his contract. Probably get him for 100 grand a week. It's something United would do, to be fair. But I hope not. I hope not.
Big up to everybody who's watching. Over 400 of you in the chat. Make sure you guys are liking the video, man.
Like.
It's not hard to like the video, so please support the channel and hit that like button. Ganzo with a super chat. Big up to you, bro. Goes, hot take. I'd rather wait and sign a long-term proper number 9 than get Gakpo stopgap type. Sesko is very interesting profile, but very young.
He's going to Leipzig, though, isn't he? So it's, you know, he's already going from Salzburg to Leipzig.
Yeah, apparently United still could get in there, but for me, I don't know, man. I think we still need something, you know, this season, because we can't rely on Martial, who again has come back from a terrible injury. So
if we don't buy someone in January, that says to me that we've written the season off. We don't care.
Yeah,
we don't care about where we finish because we've not replaced our top goal scorer from last season. So I was not even replaced his understudy from last season. So, you know, a lot shows in January where this club is at. It might be, but the thing is that what the Glazers could do is then say, well, we're selling. So, like you say, we don't have to. We're not going to put money out into the transfer kitty because we're leaving. So it's an excuse for them not to do anything. But it's not their money. Spend it. If the manager wants it, the manager needs it. He'll be working hard now to look for faces to get in January. 100%. They just have to back him again, and hopefully, you know, you'd like to think that Murta and Arnold really need to step the game up in January because they're probably playing for their futures.
Of course,
as much as everyone else, you see. Because
you're right.
New owners might come in and chop their heads off, so they need to really step up and back this manager. So it's a 50-50, but they definitely need to go out and spend. They definitely need to go out and spend.
Absolutely,
they really do. Nah, you're right. They do definitely need to go out and spend. And I don't think it's a question of long term or like a stopgap. You need a striker regardless. Yeah, don't necessarily have to be a stop. Like we need a long term. I think we need 2 long term strikers. Yeah, don't just stop that business. So like we need, even if we were to sign a striker in January, people, we still need one in the summer. They don't change it, so it's a no question of waiting because it makes no difference. 2 strikers minimum have to come into the side because we don't have like I say, Ronaldo's now gone. The only senior striker we have is Martial, who we know cannot stay fit. So if he can't stay fit, what use sign? So it's 2 strikers minimum. Like I said, I prefer 3, but we need 2 bare minimum.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. You got Moussa Dembele, who again is still only 26. Bloody hell, this guy's been around for years, man.
Yeah.
He's only 26. Man. Yeah, man, 26.
That's crazy.
Bro.
Been around crazy. Batan, mate. Okay, no.
Yeah, man. Again, never really kicked off, man. Never really kicked on.
He looked good the other night. I'll give him that for France. But he's not. Again, he's not.
It's Moussa.
Sorry, Moussa Dembele. Oh, right, yeah.
It's hella confusing. This bad Dembele.
There's so many Dembeles. So I apologize to all the Dembeles out of there. Moussa Dembele. Now I think we've been linked with him since he was at Celtic, and that's how long ago that is. But for me, you know, he went to Atletico, did nothing. Nah, move on. He's nowhere near the level.
Obviously Muriel. Another feature.
Yeah, no, you're all right. You're okay.
This one here, Choupo-Moting is a still interesting option in January. We know he's discussed this a little while ago, but Choupo-Moting could get it for about 6 million right now if we want to.
Stinks of Igalo. I can't back that. It's not long term, is it?
It's just get someone younger. Yeah. I'm with you on that. Go get someone.
I mean, you mentioned, like, people are mentioning, like, you know, we talk about Choupo-Moting, but then moaning about Gakpo, a young up and coming player that could play at the club for 6 years, 7 years. Like, I don't get it. Like, mate, it's mad. I hope we're nowhere near players of that level, like Choupo-Moting. No thanks.
Absolutely, man.
I didn't realize he was 33. I thought he was younger. But yeah, at 33, leave it alone.
33, yeah.
Go get a younger striker, man. Like you said, because then he at least has chance to get better, and we can get more years out of him as well. Whether it's a loan with the option to buy, like, come on, man, 33. Like, we need to push forward. We had a good window in the summer. We need to continue that. This is now time to continue good window after good window after good window, and that's how you've seen the improvements the team has made, and we want to further improve, and we have a chance to do something. We have a chance to do well this season, but the manager has to be back. There's only so much he can do. Give him a couple of strikers. Let's see what he can do with his profile of striker, because we don't know yet.
Absolutely. We are going to move on to Radcliffe. Apparently, he's only wants Man United. I don't know what this guy gives out his information to, but bloody hell, mate. We know you want Man United, but are you going to make a move? Double A, man. You know what? This guy, yeah. You know how I describe this guy? We were desperate for Jim Ratcliffe when he was the only buyer. Now, I don't know if I can be asked with this guy anymore, because he's half-hearted. And he's like,
Saeed's done with
I'm honestly, man.
Saeed's
He said,
don't DM me.
I'm interested. I'm not interested. I'm here. I'm not here. Now it's like I'm rejecting Liverpool. Bro, just make your mind up, bro. Are you here or what's going on, man?
Yeah, but a quick story. Me and my dad used to have these. Me and my dad are so similar. Like, it's unbelievable. Stubborn, always right, never in the wrong. Won't back down. Won't take the other side in. We used to have these arguments. Even walking to the game, we'd have an argument about the silliest of things. Phil Jones being in the team, anything. We'd have these arguments.
Yeah.
Right? He's calmed down a little bit with age and stuff like that. Doesn't really do it anymore. He's very calm. He's like, a bit more easygoing. Yesterday, he was having a text argument about who should. Oh, he really wants Ratcliffe. He's all on it. I'm saying, for me, I don't think. Someone in the chat said it earlier, and it's a point I'm fully behind. He's not an owner that can take United where we want to be. He's an owner that will have the best interest of the club at heart because he's a fan. But he doesn't have, for me, the backing of the owners of Newcastle, PSG, and City to take United to where we need to be. And me and Dad are having this argument. We know there's the Dubai state want to buy United, and it's a conflict of interest or, moral high ground or whatever you want to call it, in that people that own all this type of money that have always got a murky past. So it's who you want to hitch your wagon to. But for me, I just want United to have the best owners. I don't want a fan, because I think a fan they'll be held back from certain things because, they have the love of the club. I want someone who wants to make Manchester United the best club in the world again. That's what I want. We need someone, the similar owner to Newcastle, City and PSG, for that to happen. If he comes in, I will back him, and I will hope he does everything in his power to make United great. But I think it may just be beyond him for me, and that's what the argument I was having with my dad last night over. But I think it's going to be interesting to see who actually owns the club or buys it. I think they've got someone in mind for him to release it. I don't think they would just do that to throw it on the open market if they haven't been speaking to someone. But as long as they're not money grabbers and they're not leeching off us, which I don't think will be allowed to happen, I'm just happy to see the back of the Glazers, because that's the one goal I think most Man United fans have in common.
Yeah, this is it, flawless, isn't it, man? But are you like me? Are you just kind of bored of this Jim guy now? You know what I'm saying? Like, Nuri was trying to put this agenda out. Apparently, he's not even a United fan. Apparently, he goes to the Chelsea games. Danny said to me yesterday. And that.
Oh, is that what man is saying? People doing their
claiming
research
to be a United fan, just to kind of grab the hearts of the people, man. Apparently, Chelsea season ticket holder, man. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, mate. You know what I mean? It's looking a bit dodgy right now, man.
It's one of them. Him being a fan or not being a fan, I don't really care about. One, does he have the best interests of the, like Double A said, does he have the best interests of the club at heart? Footballing interest of the club at heart, number one. Number two, does he have the financial backing to do what he needs to do? Number three, does he have the talent? You know what I'm saying? And the skill set to be able to own the club and put people in places for Manchester United to be successful. But all this thing is just pure talk, not just him, everybody. I keep hearing every single day, oh, this person's interested, this billionaire is interested. We've had it in the past, it's a consortium of millionaires, it's one millionaire. Put the money on the table. That's all I have. If you really, really want to make a bid for Manchester United, offer a bid. This is what I keep saying in that, because all I'm hearing is pure interest. Very similar to the Ronaldo situation. And sorry to bring that back to him, like in the summer. Like I'm hearing, oh, Ronaldo, people are interested. Where United didn't let him go, where were the bids? And now it's the same with the football club. Where are the bids? I want to talk about, I've been hearing about this for so many years. Even before the Glazers was like, how many times has reports, you man will both know, how many times have reports come out, oh, the Glazers are looking to sell, such and such is looking to buy Manchester United, and no bid ever materializes. Put the money on the table. That's what I'm with. And then we can have this conversation. But how serious are you? Not just Ratcliffe, everybody. Would I love to see us getting taken over? Absolutely, because we want the Glazers out 110%. But it's a big money, and somebody got to put the money up.
Someone go do it, man. You know what I'm saying? And I want to see this quickly, man. I want to see this swift takeover.
Expeditiously, man. Get the money up. Put the money up.
I think they'll rinse it for every last second. And can you look at as soon as it was announced they were looking to sell, it went up. God no, I can't remember the actual figure. How high the share price went at Manchester United. So the more we get linked to Spotify or Apple or whoever wants to buy the club, they love that. They want that because it drums up more the share price, and they can rinse it for even more. I think the realistic price is 3 to 4 billion. They're saying, but they're looking for 5, 6, 7. So we could be in it for a little while. But I do think they've got an interested party because I don't think they would release it without that, to be fair.
Is this an interesting point, though? And like I said, we have to always look at every single angle. Was it just a smokescreen to distract us from Ronaldo departure and have an excuse for January? Is it just a kind of a situation where they're trying to make us happy and we look forward to something now, we get off their backs a little bit, and then later on, they're like, well, no one's can put on a bid. You know what I mean? I don't want to believe it, but is there a possibility that this is true a little bit?
Are you talking about the Glazers there? Like in terms of the Glazers don't care what we think. The Glazers don't care enough about us to try and make excuses for us to get them off their back. The Glazers will do what they think is best for them. And sometimes it aligns with what's best for us in terms of signing players and stuff like that. But more often than not, they know they're not wanted. They've been here since 2005. We're almost in 2023. So
basically, I'm going to use your logic here. So when the Glazers are in trouble and they're under pressure and there's protests and there's, what do? They buy players. Now,
they have done that, yeah.
So now what's the pressure now? Because I'm like, we want owners, but they could drag it on and be like, we've put it out there, the feeler that we're looking for investment, but how quickly does it come about? How do they drag it out by saying, well, we want 5 billion, 6 billion? It's a different sort of now pressure, and how do the fans deal with it? Because at the end of the day, they said we're leaving, but we ain't giving you no date yet. We could be leaving next year. We could be leaving 18 months. It's a weird one, and there is a point that he's trying to make there in terms of, it's a smoke screen just to kind of make sure that the excuses are in place. Ready. Do we have impact? Yes, because we've seen us have impact. I'm just saying we can't overestimate our impact. If we all came together as one, then they would be in danger. But the problem is with our fan bases, we don't have one person we all listen to and all respect. Our fan base is too big. You know what I'm saying? If we had one leader who was the guy who, when he spoke, everybody was like, all right, pay attention to him. The only person I can think who would be like that is Ferguson. He's the only person I think could say something about the Glazers and everybody would be on side. I don't think, unless there's someone else you man can think of, he's the only one I can think of. So whether it was one of us, whether it's somebody else, I don't think, like, Ronaldo spoke out about it. But look at everything else with it, it was just the wrong messenger at that time, whereas Ferguson could be the right messenger. So yeah, could, but I don't think it's like they're looking at it and going, yeah, this is a smoke screen for the Ronaldo situation. They've done stuff like that before, but I don't think they paid too much attention to it. It's like when people said, oh, the Glazers sold because Ronaldo did the interview. Like, what? Not a chance. You think they really sat there and was like, Ronaldo did this interview, let's sell? He's not a billionaires. To be fair, the Mike Ashley, he sold the club. When did he sell the club, by the way? When did he actually?
Like a year ago, wasn't it? Like just over a year ago. It was like November last year.
Find the date, of how fast it. So he sold the club in 2021, October 2021.
Yeah, just gone over a year. Yeah.
Saudi bought the club, I think. When did they bought it? I'm trying to think here. Let us know in the chat what time did they buy the football club?
It was. I remember. Big up Kendall. She put she was retweeting it because I think it was like they were celebrating a year of their ownership and all that kind of thing. So I think it was about November. Like a year
November, December. Okay, so it's about a month. Okay. So it's not too bad then, and that's a Saudi.
But just to throw my 2 pence in, is it a smoke screen for Ronaldo thing? I think I agree. What you're saying is, because you look at in the past, whenever we had some bad results or we were going through a sticky time and the pressure was mounting, they would leak stuff in the press that would come out in regards to a technical director or director of football, this player, that player. For the website, Manchester United's website, to release a statement to say that they're looking for this and looking for that, it has to be true. They can't. I don't think they could leak rumors to the press, and they can come out and say, "Oh, yeah, the Glazers are looking to sell or looking for investment," and it would go away. For it to be on their website and be screenshotted or put in the news, I don't think that would mean that it's not true. People are saying they're just looking for investment as well, but the fact it says a full sale again means it's open for a full sale. But I think this has been coming since the Super League. I think that was the catalyst for them to start for it to fall down. It can't because of Ronaldo, because it's literally a week later. Oh yeah, we're gonna sell. That would never happen. You can see every home game, Glazers out. Every away game, Glazers out. Protest. We've not been bought. We've not been sold by what they're trying to do. They tricked a lot of United fans last summer with Sancho, Ronaldo, and Varane. This summer we didn't fall for it, did we? We're chanting Glazers out every time there's a goal scored. So it's clear the United don't want them there now. And I think the breakdown of the Super League, because you believe Joe Glazer was one of the mainstays in that and wanted it alongside the guy from Real Madrid. I just think now's the time for them to get out. Like someone said in the chat there, the asset rich but cash poor. They need the money. They haven't got the funds to take United to that next level. And I don't think selling a piece of it is going to do that as well, because it's too much for them to muster and carry on, really, for me.
To be fair, though, they did cover every single possible outcome, which, again, it's better for them, really, because at the end of the day now, you kind of keep it out in the open. You kind of make sure you keep everyone second guessing. You kind of like, oh, are they looking for investment? Are they looking for partial sale, full sale? They kind of covered everything, which, to be honest with you, legally, you know what I mean? For them, it's better. You know what I mean? The fact that they've done that. The Chelsea sale was sped up because of the whole feeling of the government was involved and they wanted Roman out. But that's different as well. So it's this one's a unique one. It's not like as if Mike Ashley, it's been coming for a while. That ownership, Newcastle fans had enough, loads of protests, etc. This one, it has been coming for a while, but it's kind of almost hit us like, right, they're going now. They wanted to sell. They wanted to do this. They've never come out with a statement as well. Have they ever come out with a statement? I don't think they have.
Nah, we've wanted it since 2005. That's the truth. We've never wanted them in charge in the first place. So, this has been, it died down for a little bit and it sped up a little bit more. Obviously stopping the Liverpool game was a big achievement for the Glazers out movement, and we've continued that. Small doses. We got, like I said, it waned, but it's come back. We've never seen them say that they could potentially sell. This is the first time we've ever seen it, and I don't think like Flawless said, when have they ever cared about what Manchester United fans think? They've never had the balls to even speak to us. They was talking this whole fan scheme, and they'll do they've never even looked to do anything. They don't even talk to us on a regular basis. So for him to come out with his statement and say that, and then I think Joel, was it? The one that looks like Gollum, got caught in America and was spoken to. And he confirmed it. And I think, listen, they don't do anything they don't want to do. So for him to come out and say this, I think it is the beginning of the end. It's just how long it's going to take to get to the end, really.
Absolutely. Guys, nearly 500 people watching. We should be on at least half the likes. So if we've not hit at least 200, 250 likes, then that's a big shame. So guys, make sure you like the video, people.
Come on.
What do you think of obviously Ed Woodward has apparently been told he can come back in and help, in terms of it's a sticky one, isn't it? But I suppose if it means that the Glazers go and he's the kind of like person to kind of the kiss of death on the Glazers, I mean, it's one of them, innit? I mean, we do, the Rainers group are in charge. If they do decide to give it to the American investment or American ownership, I'm not really comfortable with that. I'll be honest with you. I think we have to move on. No disrespect to Americans out there, but we've been scarred in it. You know what I mean? Let's be real. We've been scarred by American owners. So
yeah, but I think that was more of how they bought the club out. Obviously, that's never going to happen again. It's never going to be a leverage buyout. It won't be allowed by the Premier League, obviously. But you can't lump all American owners the same way. I think the Chelsea guy looks like he's hopefully going to be looking to do good things in regard to that club. But I mean, Woodward coming in, I mean, I can only imagine that's to help the Glazers get out rather than new owners get in. I think they want him on their side to help speed it up and get it all done for them. I don't think he'll be sticking around. It'd be madness for new owners to bring him back in any kind of role. I think once the Glazers are gone, I think Murta, Arnold, and Woodward will see the back of them, and hopefully never darken our doors again. Not even to come and watch a game, because they're not well liked, and I don't think people want them at the club. So I think it's just he will be used by the Glazers because he's obviously the guy that got them the club. He's probably going to be the guy that gets them out of the club as well. So it'd be the best thing he's ever done for us.
Flawless. Just reading news today about Rio Ferdinand is confirming that David Beckham's plans to take over Man United. Obviously, last time Rio Ferdinand helped us out, we brought in Ronaldo, mate. So I don't know what he's trying to do here, but Rio Ferdinand, please do not bring ex-players in. I don't want that to happen. But he did mention something. I think I was reading in the news today about maybe possible hint at takeover by David Beckham. I'm going to bring the quote in.
Yeah. I'll let you try and find that in it. While you do that, you lot in the chat, get the likes up, man. What we doing? Let's get the like. Let's bump up the likes, man. What is going on? I know there's 450 of you lot, 500 here. Get the likes up.
No, I appreciate that, man. I'm going to bring up the quote here. It was on his Vibe podcast, I think it was. Vibe podcast. But it says here, speaking on his Vibe podcast, he says, Bex will come with a consortium. I saw Bex last night at the game. I went to the England game. We were sat next to each other. He smelled beautiful, looked beautiful. He looked $1 million, and normally he does.
Sorry to cut you off, yo. Like,
yeah.
What's that got to do with what's going on?
I know.
Like, you can compliment your done. I understand that, but like, you could just say, "Yeah, man was looking fresh." I could easily say that.
Yeah,
he looked like money. Go away, Rio. Go away.
He did look $10 billion worth amount.
Go away, Rio.
Goes here. But when you mention someone like Beckham's name, he's obviously part owner of Inter Miami, but he doesn't come alone. It's not his money. It's not in his terms of putting his hand in his pocket. He comes with a consortium. He comes with people who have deep pockets, who have the ability to go and execute the deal like that. So that's the way he'll be approaching it, and rightly so. I just think it's going to come down to a number. If you've got the number, you can produce. That's what it's going to be about. So yeah, Beckham, Flawless. Are you feeling a consortium? By the way, I'm not really a fan of consortiums. But what are you thinking, Beckham?
I don't want any, like, and this is nothing at Beckham. I don't know how he's doing that into Miami, but obviously he's got experience within this because that's where he's at. Well, I'm not trying to see anybody formally involved, like class of 92, ex-players, ex-legends, because like we said before, fans will make fan decisions. This is why I want fans, including myself, I say this all the time, far away, because you cannot have emotion in this. You cannot have emotion. And sorry to bring it back to him, that's why we had Ronaldo at the club, because it was an emotional decision to bring him back. It wasn't the best footballing decision. It was best emotionally. It was also best PR. It wasn't in the footballing interest, the best part. And that's why I don't want David Beckham involved. I want the new owner to not be a fan and see it as a job. I don't want him to see it as my dream job. I'm a United fan, because then they can get overawed with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, then they're not making, like, treat it like a business. And the business should be Manchester United being the best possible they can be on the football pitch to win football matches and win trophies and invest properly and have the correct people in the correct places, the correct facilities, all that type of stuff. We should have the best in class of everything because we have the money to. So that's the way we should go for, and we should have the best in class of turn of owners as well. I'm not saying the owners have to be super rich. I'm just saying that because the Glazers have spent money, it's how it's been spent. Yes, sentiment is the enemy of you are 110% correct. 100%. Correct. 100%. Sentiment is and I don't want anybody with any sentiment, and that's no disrespect to Beckham. Of course, he's going to be sentimental coming back to Manchester United.
Might bring Ollie back.
He might do, you know what I'm saying? And that.
As long as he works in the canteen, I don't give a shit. That's the only place. That's the only place all he can be, in the canteen.
I don't want him over the teas and burgers and that. No. He can stay elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, man. I'm done with that. Like no. You stay managing elsewhere. Like, you took years off my life watching you at Manchester.
He can't even get a job anywhere else. I've not even ever seen him linked to another job.
But that was a manager who was going to be successful here and take us to league titles. But we'll leave that one alone. That's for another day. That's for another day. You know what I'm saying? And that's for a whole another day, people. In it, you Alieners have a lot to answer for. But yeah, back to it. No, I'm not trying to see David Beckham. Somebody got to put the money up. I keep saying this. I'm going to sound like a broken record. Somebody make a bid, please.
How much are they going to want? What we saying estimate wise in terms of?
They want 6 to 7 bill, 100%.
You reckon they want 6-7 bill? I was going to say 4 or 5. You reckon 6-7?
I think it's worth 3, 4 to 5. Okay. I think they want 6-7, 100%. Because they'll put it across as of what. To look at the share, this is what I mean by dragging out. The share price will go up, the share price will go up, the share price will go up. They then prolong that to the point where it's like, look, what we own. But then, smart businessmen like Radcliffe and whoever, the Dubai State Fund, whatever, will look at it and the fact that you've got to factor in the debt, which the Glazers are going to have to take. The stadium, apparently there's rumours it's easier to build a new stadium now than it is to renovate Old Trafford, which tells you, apparently it's easier to build a new stadium. It'll be quicker to build a new stadium than it will to renovate Old Trafford to get it up to the standards.
So we're saying renovation will take
long. 10 years apparently it'll take to renovate Old Trafford and get it to the point of a Tottenham Stadium or Arsenal or whoever. 10 years. So it's easier that the bit at the back of Old Trafford where the megastore used to be, and you've got all them big containers and that's where they're saying they'll probably build a new stadium. It'll be cheaper to do.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, and because Old Trafford's not been touched in 17 years. They've not touched it since 2005. And you go,
of course.
It's like again another argument with my dad. He seems to think there's nothing wrong with it. I'm like, Dad, come on, man. It's not a modern stadium. It looks like an old stadium. It's stuck in the noughties. We need to move on. We're the biggest club in the world, man. Like, yeah, I'd love Old Trafford to be Old Trafford forever. But listen, if we're having that iTrafford 14 Pro Max, I'm up for it, man.
No, I agree with you in terms of the stadium should match and it should be a modern day stadium. We all love Old Trafford, of course. Memories, you know what I'm saying? All our greatest memories. We can all sit and we could sit here for the next 2 hours just talking about Old Trafford moments. That's just from the 90s up until now. If we got someone in there who was older, they'll tell us. You know what I'm saying? The 80s and stuff, and then beforehand. But you said it, Double A. The stadium should match at the end of the day. We should. And if we get a new stadium and that adds more revenue and then enables us to sign even better players, I'm all for it. Like, I don't want to see Old Trafford go, but it depends on the new owner, whoever that is, to decide that. You can just call it New Trafford and keep it moving.
But you know what? Easy. I was going to say, would we call it New Trafford because of the fact that I know it's kind of crazy but it's a new era, so New Trafford. Would it
makes sense, man?
It won't surprise if it's called Old New Trafford. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
or New Old Trafford.
New Trafford makes sense,
New
man.
Trafford,
like
New Trafford.
one plus one will always equal 2. Like, New Trafford makes sense.
I think it'll be a naming rights thing. I think it'll be like the IMAX Stadium or whatever in it. Something mad.
Yeah,
like
I think so. I think we should call it
AirPods Bowl or something mad like that. Do you know what I mean,
bro? Let me tell you something. Fans, you've got to realize, the owner will do what he wants. Like, you man don't realize this stuff.
Of course. Listen, I love Old Trafford, and if it's going to be easier to build a new stadium, that's what we need in it, because we need, like I keep saying, we need to be looking at City, Newcastle, and PSG, their money, their wealth, what they're going to be doing with their clubs. We need to be on that level. We can't be looking up anymore. I'm sick of, bro, my neck is killing me. I'm sick of looking up at other clubs and but that's where we were. We were looking down on everyone, and we need to be back up there. And if it takes someone to come in and get rid of Old Trafford and we have a new stadium right next to it, I'm all for it, man. Whatever. I'll still have my seat, so I'm going to still be there cheering on my boys.
Like I said, I think ultimately, though, what you got to realize is that, we are in, the owners will make decisions for us. Like, I'll be honest with you, like fans might say, oh, we got tradition and all that, but bro, they might say, right, we're building our own legacy. Like the Glazers made a whole legacy for themselves. And what did it shoot? What did it show? Fergie carried Man United's legacy for so long. You're supposed to have owners who bring in their traditions and what they do and their culture. And then, like the City owners are doing now with Pep Guardiola, and you work in tandem. With Man United, it's been Fergie carrying it and then carrying it after he's retired in the dugout. So it's like the owners have never brought anything to the table. If the new owners come to the table and say, right, we want to build a new tradition at Man United, we want to be the best. And to be the best, we're going to do harsh decisions. Like owners do that. Bosses do that in life. They do hard decisions.
You have to be cutthroat. And you mentioned it, their tradition. When people don't want to change and their reason is tradition, that comes back to what we just said. That's sentiment. That's sentiment talking. If we say we want to do something new with a business and somebody's reasoning and say, no, don't do that. And their reasoning behind it is tradition. And it's not a business to say, I don't want Manchester United to renovate Old Trafford or move stadium because of, big up Dan Sillyman every time, because of this, and this. And they list you actual business reasons. That makes sense. But if all you tell me is, it's tradition, that's just sentiment. Sentiment is truly the enemy of progress when you are in business. This ain't a relationship, people. This is not, you know what I'm saying? You're not married. This ain't your other half. This is Manchester United are trying to be successful at the highest level. So we have to make these cutthroat decisions and compete. So if we have to move stadium, so be it. Because you know what our main tradition is, people? Winning. That's what Manchester United is built on, winning trophies. The reason why we remember Sir Alex Ferguson is because he won a lot. The reason why he's called Sir Alex Ferguson is because he won a lot. The reason why these former players are legends because they won a lot. The reason why there's statues and pictures outside of Old Trafford is because they won. It's nothing to do with tradition and sentiment. These men were successful. Because if they weren't successful, guess what? There'd be no statues of them outside the stadium. We wouldn't talk about them. We wouldn't talk about them. Name me a player that's been here that was unsuccessful that we still talk about.
Phil Jones.
I'm telling you that. He's still here, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? He's still
true.
here.
That's true.
I'm saying once he's gone in 20 years, we ain't going to be sat on a podcast like, remember Phil Jones? You know what I'm saying that. But we still talk about the likes of, say, John O'Shea, because John O'Shea was successful here.
Bad man. Yeah.
I'm saying that. Only man can make Figo score a winner at Anfield. You know what I'm saying? Chip Almunia at Highbury and stuff like that. But we were successful. That's my point. All this tradition stuff. People got too much sentiment, man. I love my football club, but I want to see us be successful.
Yep, absolutely, man. You've got to move with the times and let's see what these owners can come. But we'll hopefully see some news this week. It's always Mondays where you kind of hear about new news coming in. So let's see if we can build some news in the next week or two. But yeah, man, big up to everybody who's locked in. We do have some news to tell you. We are going to be doing a live show on the 16th of December, people. Yeah, man. So make sure you get your tickets. The link is in the description, but it's also in the pinned chat. Me, Andy Tate, AA Flawless. We're going to be in Manchester at a venue. The link and the details are in the link in the pinned chat. If you want to come down, tickets will be going fast, so make sure you get them, people. And yeah, man, we've got a live show, man. You know, Man United Unfiltered podcast.
Can't wait, man. Can't wait. That's going to be sick, you know.
It's going to be good.
In Manchester, bro. In Manchester, the description is in the link, so check it out, people. Anyone wants to come down, like I said, you've got time now to book tickets, flights, wherever you want to be, wherever you guys are coming from. You guys are more than welcome. And like I said, man, we've got a live show in Manchester. So please, guys, make sure you support the channel. Come down, buy a ticket. Let us know if you buy a ticket as well. We'll follow you on your socials.
Yeah, man.
We'll make sure we give you a shout out. Yeah.
Yes. That's a great idea. See, that's why Saeed's the guy that he is, and that's a phenomenal idea. On that. Yeah, man. Come on, that's a phenomenal idea. You know what I'm saying? 100%. Go on, fam. Carry on.
No, I'm just saying, man. Make sure you go buy your tickets. Live show. I've never done a live show before with an audience. So listen, it'll be a pleasure for you guys to come down. And yeah, like I said, hit us up when you get the tickets. But yeah, man, big up to everybody who's watching the show. Make sure you guys follow Sarcasm City. You doing anything tonight, bro?
Yeah, back Q&A tonight at midnight, people. It'll be a sarcasm 6, so we'll talk all things World Cup. I'm sure you lot will have questions on the United stuff, whatever else you want to ask. But yeah, back to what Saeed said about the live show. It's a Friday as well, people. It's on a Friday as well. So yeah, man, get down. It's just venue. All the information's on there. It's just outside of the city center. So yeah, man, head down. And like Saeed said, if you buy a ticket, let us know, and we will follow you on all your socials and that.
Big up, man. Double A, big up to you. Thanks for coming on. And always, like I said, looking forward to the show.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. It's sitting in the same room, the four of us having a chat about Manchester United, and any people that come. Like I said, if you any ideas of what you want us to talk about, topics like I was saying, picking our top five-a-side Man United team of all time, anything like that, any content you want to see us talk about, any questions, yeah, get in there, man. It's December the 16th, isn't it? So yeah, you got like just under a month away. It's going to be fun. Come down. If you want to see more of me, I'm on Talking Kit as well. That's the channel I run. If you're into your football kits, obviously I'm repping Brazil tonight. New video dropping on Wednesday, Desert Island Kits, where I sit down with a football kit collector and just ask them to pick 5 shirts from their collection they would like to take. On a desert island, it's dead easy. So yeah, come over there. If you can, go and subscribe. I would appreciate it. But yeah, big up the man, them. Always big fun to be on Saeed's channel, man, doing this podcast.
Big up. As always, big up to Andy as well. Like I said, overtime in work. So big up to Andy for always tuning in. And yeah, man, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Watch alongs tomorrow, Brazil and Portugal, Uruguay. And then hopefully we'll have some Man United content to talk about. But listen, people, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your evening, wherever you are in the world. And we'll see you soon.